There was a lot to not be happy about, where there was this weird Venn diagram of people who might have voted for Bernie Sanders in 2016, 2020, but then ended up talking themselves into Trump being the better choice. Not to say they're right or wrong, that's their vote, it is what it is. What would you attribute that to? I know that you always say that there is a populist side of the MAGA folks that kind of align on a lot of stuff that the populist side of the left should align on. What would you kind of attribute the Venn diagram matching up a little bit there between those two voting sides that you would perceive to be so different?
Yeah. So I remember in 2016, I'd be doing videos about Bernie on the street or whatever, right?
Dude, I was fucking living in Tampa, Florida, volunteering for Bernie's campaign out there, you know?
Yeah. And whenever people recognized me in the street, whether I was shooting a video or they just recognized me from the show, and they were Republicans, almost every time they would say, you know, I'd have voted for Bernie. You know, I'd vote for Bernie, right? Why? Why is the Trump guy voting for Bernie when they're on the opposite ends of the political spectrum, right? It's because they're both anti-establishment.
Right.
The only reason Trump won, his number one calling card, they're lying to you. They say, oh, no, the number one reason he won is because the country's racist and sexist and fascist and all that stuff, right? We'll get back to that in a sec. But no, that's not the number one reason. The number one reason is he's anti-establishment. Now, is he really? Not really. He's a fake populist, right?
Right.
But at least he's savvy enough to know to fake it, right? So that's why the Bernie people are anti-establishment, the Trump people are anti-establishment. And that's why, so for example, they're anti-war, right?
Dude, Trump is the establishment, though. Like, this idea that Trump is anti-establishment is a fucking joke, bro. Like, his own party killed their immigration bill to help him. Anybody who says Trump is anti-establishment, like, he is literally the entire Republican establishment is Trump, dude. Like, what are we talking about?
So MAGA's anti-war, we're anti-war.
Right.
Now, when I tell the left, you know, when I say radical left, it's actually not necessarily always the far left. The moderates have gotten radicalized. Those are like the Biden zombies who are like, well, Biden is the greatest candidate. There is no other Democrat that could beat Trump, right? And meanwhile, like both sides are leaking out. Like he's pulling a Rudy Giuliani. He's got almost no brain left. They're like, no, Biden is the greatest. You cannot criticize Biden, right? So those guys have become now the most radical, right? And so when you're saying, hey, guys, the right wing MAGA, they're not lying. They're all saying they're anti-war. Like some of them might be lying, and some of them, and Trump might be lying. And if Trump does start a war, some of them might back him. But a huge percentage of them will not back him, and they actually don't want war. Marjorie Taylor Greene comes on the Young Turks.
I saw that. Great conversation. I mean, whether or not, I mean, obviously she's...
Dude, he said great conversation. I don't think most people thought Biden was the greatest. There are some hardcore Biden supporters. There are. Don't get me wrong. There are some people that were very, like, Biden supporting and were very mad when he got, like, pushed out of the race. But I don't think that was a general consensus. I think most of the left-wing people never liked Biden in the first place, right? I didn't like Biden. Dude, he was like friends with the Southern racists. He was like the white conservative guy they attached to Obama. I mean, he was just milquetoast. You know what I'm saying? He was like one of those like 1970s fucking politicians. He was a guy who was around during segregation, but wasn't protesting it, right? So like, what the bro? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have him than Trump. I'd rather have his corpse with any administration than Trump, right? Because the world would be better off. Let's be real. But I never liked him as a candidate. You know what I'm saying?
He's a kook, but there's middle ground with anybody.
Exactly.
So why not have those discussions?
Right. So we bring her on and she says...
See, this I take issue with. We gotta listen to this. Hold on, watch that.
Marjorie Taylor Greene comes on the Young Turks.
I saw that. Great conversation. I mean, whether or not, I mean, obviously she's a kook, but there's middle ground with anybody.
Exactly.
See, that concept. There is middle ground with anybody. I disagree with that. I think there need to be some people and some like red lines where you just won't find middle ground with people. You know what I'm saying? Like when Trump is lying about sex change operations at school, he lied about an election, he lied about his involvement in J6, he pardons criminals, he's a rapey. Like, why would we have middle ground with that guy? If a rapist fucking becomes my boss, I'm not going to find middle ground with the rapist. You know, why would I? Well, I'm not going to find middle ground with the fucking KKK Grand Wizard. Like, what the bro? Like, you cannot necessarily find middle ground with everybody. Oh, yeah, the anti-vaxxer. Oh, what's the middle ground? We're going to get rid of all these really important vaccines. Great, now my kid has polio. Now my kid is dying of measles, you dumb f***. Because I just had some middle ground with the fucking guy with the tinfoil hat who stood too close to the microwave and took away all these really important vaccines. You fucking clowns.
Discussions.
Right. So we bring her on and she says, if Trump goes to war with Iran, I'm out. I'm out on Trump.
Dude, I guarantee you, if Trump goes to war with Iran, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not out. I guarantee you. He actually said that. Cenk Uygur just said that. Dude.
I mean, obviously she's a kook, but there's middle ground with anybody.
Exactly.
So why not have those discussions?
Right. So we bring her on and she says, if Trump goes to war with Iran, I'm out. I'm out on Trump.
What a crazy thing for Marjorie Greene Taylor to say on camera. Right?
She actually didn't say that, though. She didn't say that.
If Trump does attack Iran, how disappointed will you be in Trump?
I don't see a need to attack Iran. I don't see a need or understand a reason to attack Iran, and the American people don't want a war with Iran. For the past several years during the Biden administration, we saw our own borders overrun every single day.
You see that? She did not answer that question. You know why? Because if Trump attacks Iran with Hegseth to do a favor for the Saudis and for Israel, she will 100% be on board with Donald Trump. Period. Okay? Period. She will be on board in 2 seconds. No questions asked. Which is why she doesn't deserve the fucking grace that Cenk is affording her. And of course she didn't answer that question because she's on board. Oh, Cenk, let that one slide. Oh, I don't need you to answer my questions. You're so honest, Marjorie. Marjorie, oh, you're so honest about the programmed hurricanes and the Jewish space lasers that I don't need you to answer my question. Oh, Marjorie, let's go have a drink and you can touch my prostate. Oh, Lord, dude.
And so one last thing on Iran. Look, Iran was in basically a peace deal with us during the Obama years. And we got to take most of their uranium out of their country so they had no ability to develop nuclear weapons. I thought it was a great deal. And I criticized people on all sides and I criticized Obama for a lot of things, but I thought that was actually one of his better accomplishments, keeping us out of the war and making sure Iran didn't get nukes. How about going back into that deal?
Well, I think a deal would be important, and perhaps that's what the Trump administration and President Trump is working towards. He's made that commitment that he doesn't want Iran to ever have a nuclear weapon, and so I'm sure there is.
Dude, he fucking pulled us out of that deal.
A major effort there to make sure it doesn't happen. Here's the situation though: is I'll go back to this. Unless Iran is directly attacking America. Attacking the American people. I'm more of like, let's focus at home. We have tremendous problems here at home, as well as looking at other countries that we don't want to get sucked into their foreign wars.
Yeah, I mean, why are we bombing Iran when we can attack Canada, Greenland, and Panama, right?
And Ukraine is another one that I think that we need to make sure that we stay out of. These are all of these countries, when we're talking about these geopolitical conflicts, these are places that have had conflicts, some of them longer than I've been alive. And I turned 51 at the end of this month. So whether it's the Middle East or, some kind of conflict over in Eastern Europe or wherever it is, I really think for me, my main focus is let's fix America. Let's fix our problem.
We bring her on, and she says, if Trump goes to war with Iran, I'm out. I'm out on Trump.
What a crazy thing for Marjorie Green Taylor to say on camera.
Isn't that amazing? She said no money to Israel. Awesome, right?
Yeah.
And you're right. All of our other opinions, we don't have to agree with. We can fight our tooth and nail on the other stuff, right? But take yes for an answer, especially when the MAGA base is screaming to Trump, who's in power, don't go to war, okay? So now when you tell the radical left, which are actually mostly moderates these days, the former moderates, they're like, no, they are all in a cult. We are not in a cult. They are in a cult. They will never disagree with Trump. And I'm like, look, Tucker Carlson today saying Trump is wrong.
Dude, Cenk is embellishing a lot. It's fucking embellished, bro. Dude, he just completely, I made a video about the MTG interview, and he just completely rewrote, the entire fucking script. She did not say that if Trump goes to war with Iran, she was out. She did not say that at all. Not even remotely. She would not say a negative thing about Donald Trump. All she did was talk about not wanting to send money overseas. She did talk about not wanting to send money to Ukraine or to Israel. But dude, this is clownery. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.